Admiral Kita stood before the massive screen in the Federation Council chamber. His gray uniform sparkled with metals as he pointed to a small blue planet. "This is Earth," he said to the council members, "a primitive world that has barely reached space. They will be an easy victory for our forces." The council members nodded. They had conquered hundreds of worlds before. Earth looked like just another simple target. But at that very moment on Earth, Commander He-Jin sat in his office at the Seoul Defense Command, staring at strange data on his computer screen. For the third time this week, satellites had stopped working for exactly 7 minutes. This was not normal. He picked up his phone and called Dr. Yoonji at the Science Center. "Doctor, are you seeing these satellite problems too?" "Yes, Commander," she answered. "And there's more. We're picking up weird energy patterns in the upper atmosphere. They don't match anything we've seen before." He-Jin walked to his window and looked at the night sky. Everything seemed normal, but his years of military experience told him something was wrong. "Can you come to my office? Bring all your data." An hour later, Dr. Yoonji spread her papers across He-Jin's desk. "Look at these readings," she said, pointing to a series of graphs. "These energy spikes are happening at the exact same time as the satellite problems. Something or someone is testing our defenses." He-Jin frowned. "You think we're dealing with visitors?" "Not from Earth," she said quietly. "These energy patterns break all the rules of our physics." Back in space, Admiral Kita was explaining the invasion plan to his officers. "Earth's technology is simple. They won't even see us coming. Our scouts report they still use primitive rockets and radio waves." He laughed. "They don't even have proper space weapons." One young officer raised his hand. "Sir, what about their military?" "Divided into small groups they call countries," Kita said. "They spend more time fighting each other than looking at the stars. This will be the easiest invasion of my career." On Earth, He-Jin called an emergency meeting. In a secure underground room, he showed the strange data to South Korea's top military leaders. "Something is watching us," he said, "and they're not being very careful about hiding it." "Aliens?" General Park asked, his face serious. "Are you sure?" Dr. Yoonji stepped forward. "The evidence is clear. These energy patterns show technology far beyond ours. But they're making a mistake. They're being sloppy. They think we're too primitive to notice them." He-Jin nodded. "And that's our advantage. They don't know how much we can see. I suggest we keep it that way." The room was quiet as everyone thought about what this meant. Finally, He-Jin spoke again. "We need to prepare, but quietly. No public announcements, no panic. Let them think we're blind while we get ready." In orbit, Kita's scout ships continued their work, not knowing their every move was being watched. The admiral updated his invasion schedule, confident in an easy victory. "Mark the date," he told his officers. "In 3 months, Earth will join the Federation's conquered worlds." But down on Earth, humans were already proving to be more than the Federation expected. Dr. Yoonji's team worked day and night, studying the alien energy patterns. He-Jin quietly moved military units and started new training programs. In secret labs, scientists began developing new weapons and defenses. "They think we're primitive," He-Jin said to Dr. Yoonji late one night as they reviewed new data. "Let's show them how wrong they are." Dr. Yoonji smiled. "They have no idea what humans can do when we work together." In space, Admiral Kita prepared his invasion fleet, certain of an easy victory. But he was about to learn a hard lesson. Never underestimate a species just because they seem primitive. Humans had survived and grown stronger through countless challenges. Now they faced their biggest test, and they were far more ready than anyone in the Federation could imagine. The first contact was coming, but it wouldn't go the way the Federation planned. Not at all. Lieutenant Sunme stared at her computer screen, her eyes wide. After 3 weeks of watching and waiting, she had finally caught something. Hidden in the static of Earth's satellite communications was a pattern that didn't belong there. "Commander He-Jin," she called out. "I found something." He-Jin hurried to her desk, where rows of numbers filled the screen. "What am I looking at, Lieutenant?" "Alien messages," Sun Mai said, pointing to specific patterns. "They're hiding their communications in our satellite signals, but they're not as clever as they think they are." At the Science Center across the city, Dr. Yoonji and her team had made their own discovery. 3 alien probes hung in high orbit, disguised to look like small asteroids, but their heat signatures gave them away. "Look how they move," Dr. Yoonji told her team, showing them the probe's paths. "No asteroid moves like that. They're watching us, studying our defenses." She picked up her phone to call He-Jin, but he called her first. "Doctor, our cyber team found their messages. How soon can you get to the command center?" An hour later, He-Jin, Dr. Yoonji, and Sun Mai sat in a secure room, sharing their findings. Sun Mai had decoded part of the alien messages. "They call themselves the Galactic Federation," Sun Mai explained. "And these are their invasion plans. Step 1 is always the same. They shut down all electronics with a powerful energy wave. That explains the satellite tests," He-Jin said. "They're practicing for the big attack." Dr. Yoonji nodded. "But we can use this. Every test tells us more about their technology, and they have no idea we're learning from them." In space, Admiral Kita received the latest reports from his probe ships. "Earth's defenses are exactly what we expected," he told his officers. "Primitive satellites, basic radar systems, simple missile technology. Nothing that can stop us." One officer looked worried. "Sir, some of our probes report energy scans from Earth. They might have spotted us." Keita laughed. "Impossible. Their technology is too basic. Those must be routine scans from their weather satellites." He waved his hand dismissively. "Continue with the preparation schedule." But Earth was far from helpless. In underground bases around the world, He-Jin coordinated with other military leaders. They shared information and planned in secret, while letting their regular military activities continue as normal. "We need to look weak and disorganized." He-Jin held a meeting of generals from different countries. "Let them think their plan is working." Dr. Yoonji's team worked day and night studying the alien probes. They learned how Federation technology worked, finding ways to block their scans and protect Earth's electronics. "Their energy weapons are powerful," she told He-Jin, "but they always use the same frequencies. They don't expect anyone to adapt or fight back." Sun Mi made another breakthrough late one night. "Commander, I've decoded their battle plans," she said excitedly. "They use the same attack pattern on every planet. First electronics, then their ships target military bases, then they land troops." He-Jin smiled. "Perfect. Now we know exactly what they'll do." But the Federation remained confident. Kita prepared his invasion fleet, adding more ships every day. Earth looked like an easy target on his screens, a planet with divided countries, old weapons, and no space defenses. 2 more weeks, he told the Federation Council. Then Earth joins our empire. The council members nodded, already thinking about how they would divide Earth's resources. None of them wondered why their probe ships were only finding exactly what they expected to find. On Earth, He-Jin met with Dr. Yoonji and Sun Mai. "Are we ready?" he asked. Dr. Yoonji held up a small device. "We can block their energy weapons. Every military base has protection now. And I've infected their communication systems with a virus," Sun Mai added. "They won't know it's there until it's too late." He-Jin looked out his window at the night sky. Soon those stars would fill with Federation ships, ready to attack. But Earth would be ready too. "Let them come," he said quietly. "They think they're hunting us, but we're the ones setting the trap." The Federation's invasion clock counted down, while Earth prepared in secret. The greatest surprise in Federation history was about to begin. The underground bunker in Seoul buzzed with activity. Military leaders from 20 countries sat around a large table, watching as Commander He-jin pointed to a holographic display of Earth's orbit. "The alien fleet will arrive in 10 days, He-jin said. "But first, we have a chance to learn more about their technology. Captain Taho, please explain your mission." Captain Taho stood up. He was Earth's best pilot, known for doing the impossible. "Our radar spotted a Federation scout ship hiding behind the moon. They think we can't see them. They're wrong." He pressed a button, showing his plan on the screen. "My team will take 3 modified fighter jets. The aliens won't expect such simple ships to reach them. That's their mistake." Dr. Yoonji stepped forward. "We've changed the fighters' engines using what we learned from the alien probes. They can now fly in space for short times. And we've added special shields to hide from alien radar." In space, the Federation scout ship's crew was bored. They had spent weeks watching Earth, seeing nothing but ordinary aircraft and satellites. Their ship hung in the moon's shadow, perfectly hidden. Or so they thought. "Another day watching primitives," one crew member said, yawning. "I don't know why we even bother with surveillance." Suddenly, their radar blinked. 3 small objects were rising from Earth, moving fast. Too fast. "Impossible," the ship's captain said. "Their planes can't fly in space." But these planes could. Captain Taho led his team in a perfect attack pattern. The alien ship tried to run, but Earth's fighters were already too close. "Now," Taho ordered. His team fired special nets made from studying alien technology. The nets wrapped around the scout ship, shutting down its engines. "Capture complete," Taho reported to He-jin. "The alien ship is ours." Back on Earth, Dr. Yoonji could hardly wait to study the captured ship. Her team worked quickly, learning everything they could about Federation technology. "Their ships are more advanced than ours," she told He-jin. "But they're all the same. They never change their design, never improve it. They don't think they need to." Lieutenant Sunmei found something even better inside the ship's computers. "Commander, I have their whole communication system. Now we can listen to every Federation message." He-jin gathered the military leaders again. "Thanks to the scout ship, we know exactly what the Federation will do. Now we can plan our surprise." Around the world, armies moved quietly underground. Engineers built special bunkers that looked weak, but were actually very strong. Every major city installed hidden energy shields, disguised as normal power stations. In space, Admiral Kita was annoyed. One scout ship had gone missing, but he didn't think it was important. "Probably hit some space debris," he told his officers. "No matter. Our invasion fleet is ready. Earth will never know what hit them." But Earth was more ready than anyone in the Federation could imagine. Captain Taho trained more pilots to fly the new space fighters. Dr. Yoonji's team built better weapons using alien technology. Sunmai planted traps in the Federation's communication network. One evening, He-jin found Dr. Yoonji still working in her lab. "You should rest," he said. "The invasion will start soon." She shook her head, pointing to the alien ship's engine. "Their technology is amazing, but they don't understand it like we do. They just use it the same way over and over. We're already finding ways to make it better. That's humanity's strength," He-jin said. "We never stop learning, never stop improving." In orbit, the Federation invasion fleet gathered. Hundreds of ships moved into position, their crews confident of an easy victory. Admiral Kita sent his final report to the Federation Council. "Earth's conquest begins tomorrow. They suspect nothing." But in his command center, He-jin looked at the alien fleet through Earth's hidden sensors. Everything was going according to plan. The Federation thought they were starting an invasion. Instead, they were flying into a trap. "Send the final alert," he told his staff. "All forces ready for Operation Surprise." Around the world, humans waited quietly in their hidden bases. The greatest battle in Earth's history was about to begin. And the Federation had no idea what was coming. Admiral Kita stood proudly on his command ship's bridge. Below him, The blue planet Earth looked peaceful and unaware. His massive fleet waited for his signal. "Begin the invasion," he ordered. Standard protocol. First, shut down their electronics. 100 Federation ships fired their energy weapons at Earth. The sky lit up with purple light as waves of energy rushed toward the planet. In his underground command center, Hu Jin watched the attack begin. "Right on schedule," he said, "just like their other invasions." Dr. Yunji stood beside him, holding her breath. Months of work came down to this moment. Would their defenses hold? The energy waves hit Earth. Federation officers waited to see cities go dark, satellites fall, and panic spread. But nothing happened. "Sir," an officer called to Kita. "Something's wrong. Their power systems are still working." Kita frowned. "Impossible." "Fire again. Maximum power." The Federation ships fired a second time, and a third. Each time, Earth's lights stayed on. Their satellites kept working. Everything was normal. In his command center, Hu Jin smiled. "Dr. Yunji, your shields are perfect." She nodded, relieved. "The Federation never changes their attack frequency. Once we knew it, blocking their energy waves was easy." Keita was getting angry. "Launch the bombers," he ordered. "Target their military bases." Federation bombing ships dove toward Earth. They aimed at military bases, expecting to find helpless targets. Instead, they found Captain Tahoe and his pilots waiting. "All fighters, launch," Tahoe ordered. Hundreds of Earth fighters rose from hidden bases. They looked like normal jets, but now they carried weapons built with Federation technology. The alien bombers didn't know what hit them. "How are they flying like that?" A Federation pilot screamed as Tahoe's squadron shot down another bomber. "Their planes shouldn't be able to match our ships." In orbit, Kita watched in shock as his bombers retreated. "What's happening?" "They're just primitives." Lieutenant Sunbei picked that moment to launch her cyber attack. In every Federation ship, computers began to fail. Communication systems showed false information. Navigation systems pointed the wrong way. "Sir," a Federation officer shouted, "we're losing control of our systems." Keita stared at his failing screens. This was impossible. No primitive planet had ever fought back like this. Hu Jin watched the battle from Earth. "Send in the second wave," he ordered. More Earth fighters launched, but these were different. They carried Dr. Yunji's newest weapons, missiles that could track Federation ships through their cloaking shields. "They're targeting our engines," a Federation captain reported. "But they can't see us. We're cloaked." "They can now," Hu Jin said quietly, watching Federation ships appear on his screen as their cloaking failed. In space, Federation crews began to panic. Nothing in their invasion manual covered this. No primitive species had ever turned their own technology against them. "Admiral," an officer called to Kita. 3 ships lost already. We can't communicate with half the fleet. What are your orders?" Keita couldn't believe what he was seeing. His perfect invasion was falling apart. These humans weren't following the rules. They weren't acting like primitives at all. On Earth, Tahoe led another attack run. "These Federation ships may be bigger," he told his pilots, "but they're slow. They don't know how to handle real combat." He was right. The Federation ships were built for easy victories against helpless planets. They didn't know what to do against an enemy that fought back. In his command center, Hu Jin turned to Dr. Yunji. "Ready for the big surprise?" She nodded, pressing a button. Around Earth, massive hidden weapons platforms appeared. They had been there all along, built using Federation technology taken from the captured scout ship. Kita saw them appear on his few working screens. For the first time in his career, he felt real fear. "This is impossible," he whispered. "They're supposed to be primitives." Hu Jin looked at Earth's defenses, all working perfectly. "Time to show the Federation what primitives can do," he said. "All units, attack." The greatest space battle in human history was about to begin, and the Federation was learning a hard lesson. Never judge a species by its technology level alone. Dr. Yunjie hadn't slept in 2 days. She sat in her lab, studying data from the battle, when she noticed something strange about the Federation shields. "Commander He-Jin," she called over the radio. "I found their weakness." In the command center, He-Jin was watching the space battle. Earth was fighting well, but the Federation still had many ships. "What did you find, Doctor?" "Their shields," she said excitedly. "They only work at one frequency at a time. They can't handle quick changes." She sent him the data. "Look, when our weapons hit their shields, the shields take 3 seconds to adjust. That's their weak point." He-Jin smiled. This was exactly what they needed. "How fast can you make our weapons change frequency?" "Give me 1 hour," she answered. In space, Admiral Kita was trying to save his invasion. Half his ships had damaged computers thanks to Sunmi's cyber attack. The others were struggling to fight Earth's fighters, which moved in ways Federation ships couldn't match. "This is impossible," he muttered, watching another of his ships retreat. "No primitive planet has ever given us this much trouble." Captain Taho led another attack run against the Federation fleet. His pilots had learned that the big alien ships turned slowly. They used this to their advantage, attacking from multiple directions at once. "Their ships are powerful," he told his squadron, "but they're too simple. They only know one way to fight." In her command post, Lieutenant Sunmi monitored the Federation's communications. Thanks to her virus, she could predict where their ships would move next. "Commander," she called to He-Jin. "They're going to try a big attack. All their remaining ships at once." He-Jin nodded. "Perfect timing. Dr. Yunjie is ready with our surprise." Dr. Yunjie had worked fast. She changed Earth's weapons to switch frequencies rapidly, faster than the Federation shields could adjust. Now she waited with He-Jin to see if it would work. Kita gathered his ships for one final attack. "Hit them with everything," he ordered. "They can't stop all of us." The Federation ships charged toward Earth. Their shields glowed bright blue, ready to stop any weapon. "Now," He-Jin ordered. Earth's defense platforms fired their new weapons. The beams changed frequency 100 times per second. Federation shields flickered and failed, unable to keep up with the rapid changes. "What's happening?" Kita shouted as ships began reporting shield failures. "How are they doing this?" On Earth, Dr. Yunji watched her plan work perfectly. "Their shields are like a door that only opens one way," she explained to He-Jin. "We're hitting them from all directions at once." Taiho's fighters struck at the same time, using the new weapons. Federation ships that had seemed invincible now had no defense. "Sir," a Federation officer called to Kita, "we've lost shield power on 30 more ships. We can't adjust fast enough." Kita couldn't believe what he was seeing. These humans had found a weakness in Federation technology that no one had discovered in centuries. Sunmi's cyber attack struck again, shutting down weapons on the Federation ships that still had working computers. Their mighty invasion fleet was falling apart. "How?" Kita demanded. "How did primitives learn to do this?" In the command center, He-Jin watched the Federation fleet retreat. "Send the message," he told Sunmi. She transmitted their warning to the Federation ships. "Leave Earth space now. Next time we won't be so gentle." Kaitai received the message and stared at his broken fleet. The humans had taken their simple technology and found ways to beat Federation weapons that were centuries more advanced. "Signal the retreat," he ordered quietly. Full withdrawal. On Earth, cheers filled the command center. Their plan had worked. Humanity had stood up to the galaxy's greatest power and won. "They thought we were primitive because our technology was simple," Dr. Yunji said to He-Jin. "They forgot that simple doesn't mean stupid." He-Jin nodded, watching the Federation ships flee. "And they forgot something else," he said. "Humans are very good at learning new tricks." The first battle was over, but Earth's surprise for the Federation was just beginning. Captain Taho looked at his team of pilots. They were about to try something that no one had ever done before: attack the Federation's command ship directly. "This is crazy," one pilot said. "Their biggest ship? Really?" Tai-ho nodded. "They think we're running away after our last victory. They won't expect us to attack now." In her lab, Dr. Yoonjae handed him a small device. "This will shut down their engines once you're inside, but you have to get it to their main power room." He-jin had approved this mission, even though it was very dangerous. The Federation fleet was weak after their failed invasion, but their command ship was still powerful. "Remember," he told Tai-ho, "Lieutenant Sun Mi's virus has knocked out their internal sensors. They won't see you coming." High above Earth, Admiral Kita was trying to fix his damaged fleet. He had lost many ships in the failed invasion. Now he just wanted to get his remaining ships ready to leave. "Keep the shields up," he ordered. "Those humans might still attack." But he didn't really believe they would. No species had ever dared to attack a Federation command ship. It was too big, too powerful. He was wrong. Tai-ho led 5 modified Earth fighters toward the huge ship. Thanks to Sun Mi's virus, the Federation's radar showed nothing. Their hangar door is opening to let a repair ship in. Sun Mi radioed to Tai-ho. "That's your chance." The Earth fighters slipped in behind a repair ship, hiding in its shadow. Federation crews were too busy with repairs to notice 5 extra ships in the busy hangar. "We're in," Tai-ho whispered over the radio. "Moving to Phase 2. His team split up. 3 pilots created a distraction in the lower decks, making the Federation guards think they had found all the intruders. But Tai-ho and his partner were already heading to the power room. Dr. Yoonji's studies of Federation ships had told them exactly where to go. In his command room, Kita heard about the intruders. "Just a few humans," he said. "Security will catch them." Then the whole ship shook. The 3 pilots in the lower decks had started their attack, using special bombs that Dr. Yoonjae had made. "Find them," Kita shouted. "Send everyone to the lower decks." That was exactly what Tai-ho wanted. While security ran downstairs, he reached the power room. It was almost empty. "Now comes the hard part," he told his partner. They had to place Dr. Yoonji's device in exactly the right spot. On Earth, He-jin watched through special cameras hidden in the pilots' suits. "They're almost there," he told Dr. Yoonji. "Your device better work." She smiled. "It will do more than work. It will teach them a lesson." Tai-ho found the main power core. It was huge, glowing with blue energy. He carefully placed the small device against it. Suddenly, alarms went off. "Intruders in the power room." A voice shouted. Federation guards were coming. "Devices planted," Tai-ho reported. "Starting countdown." His team ran for their fighters. Federation guards chased them, but they didn't know the ship's layout as well as the humans did now. "What are they doing?" Kita demanded as he watched the humans run. "What did they plant in my ship?" He got his answer 3 minutes later. Dr. Yoonji's device activated. The command ship's engines shut down. Then they started again. But now, they only worked at half power. The mighty ship was crippled. "What's happening?" Kita shouted. On his screen, a message appeared. It was from Dr. Yoonji. "We improved your engine design. This version uses less power. You're welcome." The humans hadn't just attacked the Federation's greatest ship. They had changed its technology, made it work differently. "Impossible," Kita whispered. "They can't change our technology. They're primitives." But they had. As Tai-ho's team flew back to Earth, they left behind a Federation fleet in chaos. Their greatest ship was now running on human-modified engines, and they couldn't figure out how to change it back. "Mission complete," Tai-ho reported to He-jin. "How did the device work, Doctor?" Dr. Yoonji checked her readings and laughed. "Perfect. They'll need months to understand what we did to their engines. By then, we'll have even better technology." The Federation had just learned another hard lesson. Humans don't just copy technology. they make it better. Admiral Kita stood before the Federation Council again. This time, there were no proud smiles or easy confidence. His uniform had no sparkle now, and his face looked tired. "Explain," the council leader said. "How did Earth defeat our invasion?" Kita took a deep breath. They are not what we thought. We made a terrible mistake." He showed them videos from the battle. Earth fighters dancing around Federation ships. Human weapons cutting through their best shields. Their command ship still running on modified engines that worked better than the original design. "In 3 months," Kita said, "they didn't just learn to use our technology. They made it better." The council members whispered to each other. This had never happened before. Primitive planets were supposed to be easy targets. "Show us these humans," another council member demanded. Kita played more videos. He showed them Dr. Yunji in her lab, taking Federation technology apart and rebuilding it in new ways. He showed Captain Taiho's pilots learning to fly in space faster than any training program thought possible. "And there's more," Kita said. He played a recording of Lieutenant Sunmi's virus attacking their computers. "They turned our own systems against us. No species has ever done that before." The council leader leaned forward. "How many ships did we lose?" 37 destroyed, 42 damaged. "And our command ship," Kita paused, embarrassed. "It still runs on their modified engines. Our engineers can't figure out how to change it back." In the council chamber, worried voices grew louder. The Federation had ruled space for centuries because their technology was the best. But these humans had taken that technology and improved it in just 3 months. "What happens," one council member asked, "if we give them more time? A year? 10 years? Kaita showed them one last video. It was Commander Heijin speaking to his troops after the battle. "Today we proved something," Heijin said in the video. "The Federation thought they were coming to conquer primitives. Instead, they gave us the tools to reach the stars. And we're just getting started." The council chamber went quiet. They all understood what this meant. Every piece of Federation technology humans saw, they would study, improve, and make their own. "There's worse news," Kita added. He showed them Dr. Yunji's latest work. "They're already building their own ships using our technology, but better, faster, more advanced." "How is this possible?" the council leader demanded. "They think differently," Kita explained. "We use the same technology the same way over and over. But humans never stop asking questions, never stop trying new things." He showed them more data. "Look how fast they learn. Every time we used a weapon, they found a way to block it. Every time we showed them technology, they found a way to improve it." The council members looked worried. This wasn't just about one failed invasion now. This was about the future. "If we leave them alone," one member said, "they'll keep developing, keep improving, keep getting stronger. But if we try to stop them," another added, "they'll learn from that too. Learn even more about our technology, become even more dangerous." Keita nodded. "That's the problem. Everything we do to fight them only makes them stronger." The council leader stood up. "Show us your recommendation, Admiral." Keita displayed his final report. "We must stay away from Earth. No more invasions. No more contact. They're too dangerous." "Dangerous?" a council member asked. "They're still primitive." "No," Keita said firmly. "That's what I thought. That's why we failed. They're not primitive. They're just different. They don't have our technology, but they have something more dangerous." "What's that?" "The ability to learn, to adapt, to take our best technology and make it better." Keita looked at each council member. "If we fight them again, they'll only get stronger. And next time, they might decide to invade us." The council chamber went silent. For the first time in Federation history, they faced a species that didn't just fight back. It learned, adapted, and grew stronger with every battle. The Federation had to make a choice: Leave Earth alone, or risk making humanity an even more powerful enemy. 1 month after the failed invasion, a single Federation ship appeared near Earth. This time, it carried diplomats, not weapons. Commander He Jin sat in a special meeting room, watching the alien diplomats walk in. Dr. Yoonji and Lieutenant Sunma sat with him. Captain Taeho stood guard by the door. "We come to talk peace," the lead Federation diplomat said. He Jin smiled politely. "Peace, after you tried to invade us." "A mistake," the diplomat said quickly. "We did not understand humans properly." While they talked, Dr. Yoonji studied the diplomat's translator device. She could already see 3 ways to make it work better. The Federation diplomat placed a golden cube on the table. "We offer technology as a peace gift." He Jin looked at Dr. Yoonji. She scanned the cube with her devices and tried not to laugh. "Commander," she said, "this is the same technology we captured from their scout ship, but less advanced than what we've already built." The Federation diplomats looked shocked. They hadn't expected humans to know that. "Perhaps," He Jin said, "we should show them our new developments." They took the diplomats on a tour. First, they visited Dr. Yoonji's lab. She showed them the new ships Earth was building. The diplomats turned pale when they saw the engines. "These are 50% more efficient than Federation designs," she explained. "Would you like to see how we did it?" The diplomats quickly said no. They didn't want humans teaching them about their own technology. Next, Lieutenant Sunma demonstrated Earth's new defense systems. "We took your basic shield design," she said, "and made it switch frequencies automatically. Much better than the old way, don't you think?" The diplomats whispered to each other in worried voices. Humans weren't just copying Federation technology. They were making it work in ways the Federation had never imagined. Captain Taeho showed them the new fighter ships. "We kept the best parts of your design," he said, "and fixed all the problems. Want to see how fast they can turn?" Again, the diplomats said no. They had seen enough. Back in the meeting room, the lead diplomat tried to sound confident. "The Federation is willing to recognize Earth as a developing world, under our protection. Of course." He Jin shook his head. "No. Earth will be recognized as a free and equal world. No protection needed." "But you're still new to space travel," the diplomat argued. Dr. Yoonji stepped forward. "Really? Look at this." She showed them data from Earth's newest space sensors, better than anything the Federation had. "We can see your fleet hiding behind Mars. Did you think we wouldn't notice?" The diplomats looked embarrassed. Their backup plan was ruined. "Here's what will happen," He Jin said firmly. "The Federation will recognize Earth as an independent world. You will remove all ships from our solar system, and you will never try to invade us again." "And if we don't agree?" the diplomat asked. Sun Mi smiled and pressed a button on her tablet. On the diplomat's screen, secret Federation military files appeared. "Then we share everything we've learned about your technology with every world you've conquered," she said. "I wonder how they'll feel about that." The diplomats huddled together, talking quickly. They hadn't expected humans to be so prepared. Finally, the lead diplomat turned back to He Jin. "We agree to your terms. Earth will be recognized as independent." After the diplomats left, He Jin looked at his team. "They'll be back, won't they?" Dr. Yoonji nodded. "Yes, but not to fight. Did you see their faces when I showed them our improvements? They're scared we'll keep making their technology better than theirs." "Let them worry," Taeho said. "Every day we learn more, grow stronger." Sun Mi checked her screens. The Federation fleet behind Mars was leaving. "They finally understand," she said. "Earth isn't their easy target anymore. We're their worst nightmare, people who can take their best technology and make it even better." He Jin looked out the window at the stars. "The Federation thought they were coming to teach us about space," he said. "Instead, we taught them something. Never underestimate humans." The Federation diplomats returned to their council with a clear message. Earth could not be controlled. and every attempt to fight them only made them stronger. John walked through the thick jungle, pushing aside large green leaves and ducking under low branches. The air felt hot and damp, like a wet blanket hung over everything. John wiped the sweat from his forehead with the back of his hand. He had been hiking for hours, searching for the hidden temple. An old map showed the way, with a squiggly line marking the path. John checked the map again. He was getting close. Colorful birds chirped and called from the tall trees above him. John listened to their songs, amazed by the beautiful sounds. In the distance, a monkey screamed. The deep jungle buzzed with the hum of insects. Everything felt so alive here. John climbed over some huge roots jutting out of the earth. His backpack felt heavier with each step. He stopped to catch his breath and drink some water from his canteen. Just a little farther, he told himself. His legs ached, and his shirt clung to his sweaty back. But he couldn't give up. He had to find the temple. Legend said an ancient artifact was hidden inside, an idol made of pure gold and covered in sparkling jewels. Many men had searched for the temple and its treasure, but none had ever returned. The jungle swallowed them up, never to be seen again. But John was determined to succeed where others had failed. He had spent months researching the temple, gathering old stories and piecing together clues. He sold all his belongings to fund this expedition. And now, after a long boat ride and days of trudging through the thick rainforest, he was finally close to his goal. John put away his water and checked the map one last time. He was almost there. He took a deep breath, adjusted his backpack, and marched onwards into the waiting jungle. Somewhere ahead, the temple waited. He just had to find it.